seen you in a while. It's a good job tonight, of course. I know, it's the guy, 30-minute segment. All right, real quick. Let me know. Radio Raheem here with Teddy Atlas. No longer just a analyst, but a trainer and a successful one. What you saw from Tim tonight, was it exactly as the game plan had been laid?
Except for the left hook that he got caught. I didn't plan that. That we didn't work in 7 weeks in camp to say we'll give angles, we'll keep them off balance, we'll counter punch, and then we'll let him land one good left hook. Well, that wasn't part of the planning. We didn't do that. But other than that, no, I was very, 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 very pleased, and all the credit goes to Tim Bradley, because to learn those things in 7 weeks and then do them in the most difficult arena there is in sports, in the ring, in a squared circle. That's all the credit to him. The credit as the athlete he is to put it together, as the person he is to want to learn it, after all his success to say, yeah, I still can learn more things. That takes a special person to have that kind of attitude. And then finally, the trust. To trust somebody that, okay, I'll listen to you and I believe you. That's the credit to Tim Bradley, not to me. And, that's also what makes it so difficult to do this, where you don't jump into it so quick. Because when someone trusts you like that, in that most difficult of all arenas, in that squared circle, where fighters can go in there and leave there with less of themselves than they went in. I mean, that's a fact. And, to have a fighter trust you and you're responsible for that fighter and that trust, it's a big responsibility. And it's heavy, and you feel it, every day. You feel it when you get up in the morning, you feel it when you go to bed at night, every freaking day. And you don't want to let the fighter down. You don't want to betray that trust. So when he goes and performs like that, it makes it all worthwhile. Because while you're going through it, it's sometimes, I know there's a strong word like I said earlier, but it's a dreadful pressure. You never understand it. It's a dreadful pressure to be responsible for another human being that trusts you and says, okay, I buy in. And then you're stuck with the feeling of, I better not be wrong. And if you got any kind of human quality to you, or any humanity to you, it weighs on you. And all I can say is I'm appreciative that I have a fighter that can make it all worthwhile.
And lastly, Teddy, he's giving you all the credit, you're giving him all the credit. That sounds like the beginning of a great partnership. When you can say that Brandon Rios landed one left hook and that's all that wasn't planned, that's a pretty successful night. You saw Brandon up there retire himself tonight. In your first fight back, you basically retired a fighter. I know you're a compassionate guy. What do you feel when you hear a guy up there talking about he's done?
I have nothing but respect. This is all I've ever done my whole life, is boxing. I never did anything else. I've said it a couple of times. I painted one house, and I did a damn good job with it. I scraped it. I took all the paint off and put 3 coats of paint on it. I went back 30 years later to Catskill, and I looked at it, and it was still standing. But that's the only other thing I ever did besides boxing, over 40 years. And, when that's all you do and when that's all that you're invested in, you have nothing but respect for the sport and admiration for the fighters that make the sport. And I have nothing but appreciation and admiration for all fighters that can get in that ring, climb up those steps and take the risks they take. And I have nothing but appreciation and admiration for Brandon Rios. And it is not a good day. It is not a day that you celebrate when you're there and your fighter, you celebrate winning, but you don't celebrate seeing him retire. No, you don't celebrate that. But what I do say is thank you to Brandon Rios for all the years that he did the one thing that you want to do when you get in that ring, always behave like a fighter. Always behave like a fighter. Even tonight, all the way to the end. Never giving in. And he should be applauded for that career.
Thank you, Teddy. I'll let you go now. I appreciate the time. We're happy to see you back. Radio Raheem with Teddy Atlas. Thank you, man. I appreciate the time.
My pleasure.